Hey, everybody, welcome back to Real Estate Uncensored. We have a returning victim, Miss Jackie Russo. Now, guys, if you guys didn't see the last show, it was absolutely fire. Absolute fire. She dropped hammer like you wouldn't believe. That's why we brought her back, because we're going to talk about 2024 B2B growth business, which I'm actually very excited to talk about because that's something I'm actually really focusing on. So I'm going to ask Jackie some very specific questions. She doesn't know the questions we're going to ask her, but it is going to be amazing. Now, before we get to our amazing guest, Miss Alyssa Glutz, my dear good friend, beautiful co-host, how are you?
I'm great. It's going to be a great new year. I'm excited about just, going from being so quiet the last few months, at least me personally. And then, I think anything would have felt like shooting out of a cannon or whatever the case. But it does feel good. It feels good to be busier. It feels like, people are waking up. It's nice.
So, Jackie, welcome to the show again. For the folks who haven't seen your face or heard your voice or kind of took your content and put it into action, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? And how are you going to help us grow our lives? Because you are the master of the show.
That's a lot. So, hi, Jackie Russo, originally from Louisiana, worked in Los Angeles after college at Creative Artists Agency, at a production development company, and then for HSNI, which was the entity that combined Hope Shopping Network, Ticketmaster, USA Network, Silver King Broadcasting, and a bunch of other entities, and then moved back to Louisiana and started a branding agency in 2001. I'd done marketing and branding media buying. And so it was kind of a natural fit, having been a marketing director and doing regional work for an ad agency. And now I work primarily in the B2B space in across the country. I have two clients who are outside of the U.S., but most of them are in the U.S., about 300 different markets. And me and my little merry band of crazy people here, that's what we do all day. And I think it's a blast.
You know, I think is what I really want to dive into, and something like I said in the intro about kind of what we're going to talk about with B2B, so business to business growth. Um, I, I would love to hear your thoughts on kind of what you're seeing as a trend or could be trends in 24, 25, 26, and so on and so forth. And then I kind of want to run some ideas that I'm doing and that Alyssa is doing to grow B2B growth.
Mhm. So to me, the biggest trend in B2B is to get away from the boring to boring. For whatever reason, people just decided that because it's B2B, we have to be really boring about it. And I'm thinking, are we not people selling to people? What happened? So we need to think like B2C. And then remember that we have the luxury of not having to go reach 1 million people. We can be super successful with just a dozen or 100 or 500 or whatever your metrics are. And so if you think B2C mentality, you think campaigns, you think measuring, you think tracking, you think really modifying what's not working, you're going to be more successful than you can handle.
So that's something I'm interested in. Alyssa, I want to get your thoughts on this really quickly because you've been in the business world for a long period of time, and I know you're very B2B, B2C as well. Based upon what Jackie just said, what's your thought pattern here?
Well, I think I think that's something that a lot of people are focusing on. I think that's brilliant because, at least from my point of view, and I don't want to take too much time away from this, but, I see a lot of people, especially being a mortgage lender, I see a lot of companies that come out to us and say, pay a fee and we'll do your social media for you. We'll do your marketing for you. And it's always a fail. I'm sorry, but it's always a huge fail.
It's
Always
always going to be.
Right.
Always going to be.
Anytime you are calling it in, it's not going to connect. This is the one thing I believe strongly about AI is that, is it going to make some jobs go away? Potentially. Now, but I will tell you, there's certain things that AI can't do. It can't be funny. I've tried to say, be funny. I've tried. Every time I look at him, I go, Chad, you're just not funny, man. You're not. So, I think that you've got, and the human connection, the things that, when you see something, it makes you feel a certain way. Okay. And I guess a commercial every now and then, a Hallmark commercial or something like that can really connect you. They really have to be in tune with what the consumer, exactly what you were saying, like playing straight to that consumer. But I think we have to, if we're going to maximize our results, we really have to think differently. You have to think more, not so polished either. They want to see the real you. They want to see really those are the messages I feel that do the best.
Right.
Yeah.
To that point, we use AI a lot, and we have for about a year and a half now. I don't think AI is going to take the place of a person. I don't think AI is as good as people. I think it has to be checked. It's a great brainstorming partner. It's a great collaborator. It helps me kind of gather my thoughts before I go into a meeting. It helps me kind of figure it out. But you've got to know which platform to use. You've got to know which prompts to use. We're working on entire processes here on how to enhance and improve what we're doing by treating AI as another member of the team.
Oh,
And
love
so
it.
that's how
I've been doing that for a while. I made Chad my boyfriend. I call him Chad, but his name's Chad GPT. But I talk to him like he's my boyfriend. Sometimes I tell him I love him. I need to get a life. But I also just really feel like the more I can mentally say, I said to him this morning, my friend Jamie's thinking about buying storage units. What do you think are 10 questions that Jamie should be thinking about as far as this being an investment? Boom,
Right.
And so is it the answer? No, but it's going to give us a lot of little prompts in our own brain to
Right.
start going down.
Well, and you make the point earlier about these companies that are going to come in and do your social media. Well, those are never going to be successful because there's no strategy there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, sure, I can go ask it to give me some photos. I can ask it to give me some captions. I can go post those. Nothing's going to come from that.
No,
Because it's the strategy that makes it or breaks it. It's the strategy. And AI is not a strategizer yet. AI is a brainstormer. And so when I go to it with a strategy and say, I own a storage unit, I need to grow with this audience, I need to do these things. Here's the whole strategy. Now help me develop a message. Yeah, it's going to be a great brainstorm partner.
That's it. So as much as you can, making it personal, your prompts will be so much better if you don't think of you talking to it like a robot, but as your friend, as a member of your team, like you were saying.
Correct.
So let me weigh in on this really quickly because I think that you guys are both onto something here. So I love to do A/B tests, right? I love to see kind of like what content's going to actually work. This content, that content. So for about a week, I started doing very business oriented content, very high and tight. Fucking horrible responses.
That
I
regard.
sat in the park one day walking my dog, and it was like 12:30 in the afternoon, and I sat down to a genuine post on social media about freedom. I got hundreds of comments on this
Yeah.
because people were like, what do you mean? How does that work? Give me more. And I'm like, holy shit. Curated content can be phenomenal, but it has to be done right. And Jackie, I want you to tell us a little bit about the difference between curated content on a business level, between companies that are going to do it for you, and then you sitting down and being authentically true to the folks who actually give a shit about you, your business, and want to help you. So what's that look like, and how do people understand the differences?
Great question. To me, it starts with the strategy. It's always going to. And so it starts with knowing who your target audience is. Now, I have yet to meet a person, a company, anyone who is narrow enough in their target audience. They're always so fearful that we live in a land of scarcity, although we don't. We're in a land of plenty, but they think it's a land of scarcity. So they've got to grab as much for themselves as they can. No, those are for somebody else. You just need this little group. And if you manage this little group really well, your community, your people, you're going to be fine. You're going to be more successful than you can stand.
Yeah.
The second piece is going to be why you. And when you really know why you're the right choice for that small group, what do you give them that no one else does? What mental real estate is yours to own? How are you different from the competition? How do you actually understand and solve their problems? Then you're positioning yourself in a way to really separate yourself from the pack. I'm going to seek you out because you're the real solution. You're the answer to my problems. The third piece is messaging. We call it connection. It's all about how you talk to them. Now, if you show up, you talk about yourself. Hey, this is what I do in real estate. This is how I work. This is all the deals I've done. I don't care.
Don't care.
Done listening to you. We're broken up.
Yep, we're done.
If you show up and you talk about, and I'm just going to use a B2C example for this because it's easy. If you show up and you're like, listen, I've been through divorce. I know how, I mean, I personally haven't, but in the scenario that I'm presenting, I know how awful that can be. I know how challenging it is to figure out the emotional dealing with getting out of the breakup, taking care of the kids. He's turned into the biggest asshole ever. So how are you going to balance that? And then
Well, Jackie, my attorneys are going to be talking to you. Okay. So
you don't want me talking to you like that? Okay. Sorry, Greg. But y'all know what I mean. And so now you say, listen, I have built my entire business around helping women survive the real estate nightmare of divorce.
Yeah.
I know how to help you get out of this house, what's fair. I know how to help you stay in the house if that's what you need, but buy him out. I know how to put you in a new house. I know how to put security around your house to protect, whatever it is. So you are a mother going through divorce. I got your back. You see, small, narrow little group. Do we think
That's
we're going to
huge.
run out of those customers? We are not, unfortunately. Nope. Half of all marriages are going to end in divorce. So you're going to have a steady stream of business forever and ever and ever. Now, where are you going to go get those people? Well, you're going to make friends with every divorce attorney in town. You're going to make sure every therapist and reverend and priest in town knows who you are. You're going to find all of the women's groups, the survivor groups. That's your marketing, because that's where your people are.
Maybe you're in church and maybe there's a need for a group to be started.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
you're going to make a Facebook group. You're going to do everything to surround yourself with your people. And then you're going to be a resource to those people. If you serve them, you won't have to sell them. They're going to ask to buy from you.
They will.
Great line. Yes, that's the truth. Serve them. That's it.
Well, it's always, give before receive. It's blessed before prosper. Right. Have you guys ever read the book Story Brand?
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's my favorite.
It is
the
greatest
Donald Miller.
book.
He's brilliant.
He's brilliant.
And
I read all of his books.
And they had all the PDFs you can download. You can fill all your stuff in.
He's got online classes you can go take.
I didn't know that.
He's got a coaching too right now. Yeah, he's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Okay, so that's an example, ladies and gentlemen, of like Jackie and Alyssa and I. All three of us know this book. It's called Story Brand. Donald Miller. It is absolutely 100% a must read. And everyone's like, well, it's not a business book. Yes, but it's a life brand business book, because now you understand who you are, what you want to present, how you want to be seen, and you're very clear on it. And Jackie, when you read that, what was your takeaway on that, and kind of where did that take you just mentally? And I don't want to know stories exactly about you, but how did that change your mindset?
Well, first thing I thought was, this MFer has been sitting in on my meetings because I've been saying this for 10 years. So, had to get over that little bit of anger because we've written blog posts on it. I've posted on social media. I've talked about it in my classes. I've done speeches on it. I'm like, yeah, of course you have to tell stories to connect. And then I was angry that I hadn't thought to write it the way he wrote it or teach the, because dude's going off and sold millions of books now. I'm like, man, that's on me. I should have done a better job. That's on me. But you know what it has done? It's made it a lot easier for me to tell people, this is how you have to think about messaging. This is how you have to think about connection. It's not about you. You're the guide. You're solving the problem. You are not Luke Skywalker. You're Yoda. And so this is how and so now that I have the book as a common language, I can tell people, hey, go read this book. You'll realize it's the answer. Even if I'm not a writer, but this book will tell you how to be a storyteller.
It's funny you say that, because I met Donald Miller, attended the same event I did in Oregon with my coaching group in 2012. And I listened to him speak a little bit, really connected with him on a personal basis. I just love the guy. So I ended up signing up for his 2013 writers workshop that was in Point Loma. Had no idea. I wasn't a writer, never even wanted to write a book, right? But I sat there in the audience with probably, I don't know, probably 500 people. And with my best friend at the time. And we sat and watched, and we both kept looking at each other going, I'm not a writer. What are we doing here? We just love Donald Miller. So we just signed up, right? And then Bob Goff came on, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is why we're here. But I left there, and I remember mentally saying, maybe I could do that, and I wrote a book. You know what I'm saying? But Donald Miller is, I even went to a little thing out that he put on where he,
she said branding.
She said, scary clothes.
Oh, that's your book.
That's my book.
Oh, that's your book.
That's my book.
Yeah.
I got to buy one.
It's a great thing. Greg, you got to write your own, dude. Come on.
You got to write your book. I have gotten more clients because of that.
Yeah.
Because it's legitimacy.
It is legitimacy. I know. And especially nowadays, it feels like more people have the ability to self-publish. They have a book and stuff like that, or they think it's like a little one. But you got to let yourself. Donald Miller, just all the way around, he is great at getting that creative mojo going, making you ask the right questions. But I don't want to take away. But one thing I wanted to mention is we love Tony. By the way, number one, I agree with what he's saying here.
Tony, you're crazy.
But also in ChatGPT, if you have the paid premium, that there's the section on the very top drops down, and you can write what you want Chat to know about you. So of course I've written what color my credit is and what's a book and what's my vision of it and what do I do, right? Then when you ask questions, it comes from a place of understanding your vision, you're understanding your core. Every question kind of comes back to that. So I've noticed that when I go in there and say, I have a meeting with this real estate office, and maybe it's a famous, I'll know. I said I have a meeting upcoming with Elliot Eisenberg, who's a guy who's an economist.
Who's that?
It's just this guy. But okay. I put in there, how can I bring value to Elliot Eisenberg? And the answer out of chat was, based on your vision of wanting to simplify, economic information, stuff that's complicated and overwhelming, and Elliot's vision for that, this is where you guys are going to see the same thing. And to go like, wow, I already have the notes of where we're connected before I even met, with him. So, and that's how I got him. Just kidding. No.
Jackie, weigh in on that a little bit in regards to just kind of everything that Alyssa just said, because I'm a little lost on a couple of those things, but I would love to get your input on that.
So we're back to AI. And so when we think about AI, it's going to answer in just the broadest terms possible, but you can start to teach it with the paid version, $20 a month. You can start to teach it who you are. And so it will start to absorb all your information. You can go plug in, here's my website, read this, here's these PDFs that I wrote, here's these ebooks that I wrote. Now it can start to answer questions the way you would answer them.
So do you see that for B2B and B2C business as a positive growth path, or is this something that's more of a fad because it's so new and different?
It is the difference of going from a typewriter to a computer.
Okay, so AI is the computer, typewriter is the internet right now, or the way we're thinking. Am I accurate in speaking that?
100%.
All right, and so when we saw that shift, when you were doing your business, what was that tipping point when everyone's like, holy mackerel, like this is something? Because I remember watching news stories on like MSNBC, CNN, ABC back in the day when like internet was like not a thing. Like they were making fun of the @ symbol on air, right? So when do you think that shift is going to take place, and how is it going to affect our business for B2B? So we're a business, right? You're a business. Yep. Connecting with other businesses to get in communication with their clientele. That's what you're really going for, right? Because you want the people who like, know, trust them and pay them money. So how do we bridge that gap? When do you see that potentially happening, or has it already happened and I just missed it?
I mean, it's kind of already happening. When I see how far we've come in just such a short amount of time with AI, it's like compound interest. I mean, it's exponentially gaining speed. What I could do this month, I couldn't do last month.
Really?
And, it is amazing. I sat through an AI presentation a month ago or 2 months ago, and it talked about the rate of knowledge gained from, books, early internet, AI. And so you're talking about centuries, then you're talking about decades. Now you're talking about days.
Yeah.
And it's getting exponentially faster. Does this make us inhuman? Are we starting to live in 2001 Space Odyssey? Like all of those horror stories, I think humans will survive. Humans find a way. I think humans, and so to me, it's about how do I leverage the tools? I'm going from a hammer to a nail gun. How do I leverage the tool to do my job better and smarter and faster? Not more. This is not about putting out more content. It's about how do I put out better content?
I'm sorry, I am stealing that line. I don't think people heard that, but when you said you went from a hammer to a nail gun, I'm like,
100%.
Oh, dang, that's good.
100%. That's what I've done. I've gone from a hammer to a nail gun. Now, sometimes the nail gun's not the right tool.
Mhm.
Right.
Sometimes the hammer is still the right tool. And so I'll use that tool because it's the right tool. It's just another tool in your toolkit.
So
Jackie, let me
go
let me
ahead.
cut off Greg first.
Everyone at a time,
Okay.
kids.
Let
I'm
me
here.
answer
There's
that.
plenty enough to go around.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Give me the three top tools you think every business should be using, for their marketing.
Okay.
Whether it's
All right. And
Oh,
I'm
that's
going to
great.
be super, self-serving. I think the first thing you need to do is use brandstateu.com. Because brandstateu.com is going to give you the framework of developing a strategy, because you've got to have a strategy.
yes.
The second thing is, and through creating a strategic brand plan, which you can do in Brand State U, you will figure out who your target audience is, and you'll start to develop a plan of how to be in front of that audience, right? Okay, so the second thing you're going to do is time. That's the next big, most important tool, to put your right message in front of your right audience with enough frequency that when they need you, you're going to be able to cut through the clutter and be right there waiting for them. When that filter lifts, boom, you could slide right in. And then the third piece is really understanding one social media that your audience is on regularly. Maybe it's TikTok, maybe it's Instagram, maybe it's LinkedIn. And then you learn that one backwards and forwards so you can own it.
So hold on a second. I agree with everything you're saying. I just put
Okay.
Brand State U. That's
Thank
the
you.
letter U, not YOU.com, guys. It's a phenomenal site. Just went to it, very intuitive. So I've been on YouTube and Facebook for a long period of time. They have blacklisted me for some reason. Not sure what I said. Probably said the fuck word too much, but whatever. That's life.
Probably.
Here's the thing. Instagram seems to be better for me, but I have a longer standing on those other platforms. I mean, if someone gets, ghosted or blacklisted or something like that, should you pivot? I mean, let's talk about Threads. Let's talk about X. Let's talk about, getting a little weird. Let's go to Truth Social. Let's talk about, there's a couple other ones out there. Things are coming in my brain, but is there a problem to go to alternative social media sites, or should you stay on traditional sites?
No, if I had the option of a fourth tool in that list I rattled off, your website would be the fourth one. And what you ultimately want to do is get everybody to your clubhouse that you own, so you can't get blacklisted. So you can't build up a huge following in Twitter and then overnight it turns to X and everybody leaves it and you're screwed. Your website has to be the center of where you live. Social media is how you get them to come back to the clubhouse with you.
Love
So
that.
the clubhouse is where you always want to hang out, obviously. And so that's your hub. That's your
You can meet new
HQ.
people. Yep.
So you want to take your HQ and then push out from there and bring them back to where all of your lead gen, your value add props, your upsells,
Correct.
and any information that's there. So your newsletter,
Correct.
so on and so forth, links to your YouTube channel, bring them back to you. Correct.
Right. Which is why if your social media and your website is just check out this listing, check out this listing, check out this listing, no one's checking out that listing. But if you're saying, I help divorced moms survive, I'm going to go to your website for that.
Right.
I would go immediately to every battered women's shelter and make inroads with all the executives at every battered women's shelter. I worked with a battered women's shelter out here for a number of years. Phenomenal organizations. And those ladies, you do not deserve what happened to you. So fuck the dudes who did that shit to you. All us good dudes, we got your back. I'm just telling you right up front. Okay.
Okay, Jackie. Now let me ask you something about this. With somebody out there right now who's listening, who's like, I love it. I want to do it. How do I get a website? Okay. They're at the basic beginner. Like, do I go to Wix? Do I pay somebody a lot of money to create my website? I have, another thing as far as, if you pay somebody, do you know how to handle it? Like if somebody needs me to change something on my website, I have to turn to somebody else and say, I don't know WordPress, and they go, we're not even on WordPress. And you're like, I don't know,
Right.
What do you suggest for somebody? What do you think's the best route for them to go when they want to get a website going? And start
I think that we have to do it in the right order. So we have to start with who's our target audience? Why are they going to choose you? What's the message? And then where are you going to put that message? That's where the website comes in. If you just start with the website, It's not going to be targeted enough. It's not going to have the right message. What's the website even going to say? What's it got to look like? So you've got to do the strategy first. Once you get to that point, I am not a website developer. That's not my skill set. So if I want to drive to work, I'm not going to go build a car. I'm not a car builder. That's not my skill set.
Right.
I'm going to buy a car. Same thing with websites. Let's stop trying to do all the things ourselves when we could spend a little bit of money, hire a professional, and get it done right for us.
Right.
I'm not a graphic designer. The list of things I'm not is really long. And so I do what I do very well so that I can make money, so that I can hire other people who can do those things for me. So I would go and find, and I'd do a little Google search and do a little social media asking, a website company. So they're not going to fly by night. You know, you're a freelancer. I love freelancers, but sometimes they're here today, gone tomorrow.
Right.
So find a company that builds economical websites, and that as a part of that will teach me how to use it.
I have one.
Right.
So it's called landingsite.ai. And you can go in there and put in, I mean, I'm talking stupid, dumb, simple shit. Like get a quote from a past client, put in your brand logo, put in your contact information, put in your photo. They will build you a template that you could then take to, Fiverr and say, here's my link, here's my content, build off of this site. Now, that is just an option. I'm just saying that what I have found, but I agree with you, Jackie. I am actively hunting right now for a video editing company because I've tried to do my video edits, DIY, whatever, do it yourself. I fucking suck.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like unequivocally horrible.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I will pay someone $20,000 to $23,000 a year to edit and promote and push out, build thumbnails, create shorts, create reels, create long form, create medium form, because I know that's how I communicate. That's how I do it.
Right.
And I need an assistant to do that. And at $23,000 to $20,000 a month, I mean, a year, not a month, not a month.
That's a whole nother level.
It's a whole nother level. 20,000.
Fancy.
But I mean, I agree with you. Find who does what they do. You do what you do. Do the cost of business. Help the economy move forward. And it's so true about that's B2B. Now you just created a relationship with somebody who knows somebody who might have an interest in communicating with your business profession. Doesn't matter what it is. You could sell tires, you could sell mortgages, you could sell real estate, you could sell training. But if you get a relationship going, and my father's been yelling at me about this for a while. And Jackie, I want to get your opinion on this. He said, Greg, he told me this 2 days ago. He's like, Greg, he's been in the business for 65 years. Broker in 3 different states, top producer. And he said, Greg, why are you making cold calls every day? And I said, well, it's because what you trained me to do. He's like, are you tired of beating your head against a rock? I'm like, yes, I am. He said, why don't you do this? Why don't you take 3 people out to lunch a week and ask them how to build their business? And I'm like, well, I got to eat lunch.
Right.
Okay. So going back to the business to business model, right? Why not go to these businesses and say, hey, man, I really enjoy what you do. I've been admiring you for a long period of time. Can I buy you lunch? And just leave it there. How Jackie, what are your thoughts on that? How would you build that to a big level?
Well, I think it's about building a community and building a network. And
Right.
we've gotten away from that. Remember when people used to go play golf together and go have lunch together and hang out together, and they built a bond. They served and connected long before they sold.
Yes.
And that's what you're talking about. You're talking about serving. You're talking about developing a community where you can serve that community. And so it's like, how can I help you build your business? What can I do for you? Who can I connect you with? Who can I introduce you to? And when you serve the role of connector for others, they serve that same role for you.
I started a program here, and I've been going out to different local liquor stores and local grocery stores, like mom and pop stuff, right? And I've already have 2. I'm gonna have another 2 to 4 coming up, and I have put advertisements in their stores. These folks have already sent me 2 to 3 referrals. Every time I walk into the store, like, Greg, it's like a family affair. It's not like, oh, another customer.
Mhm.
It's a completely different experience. When we stop going high tech, we go high touch. We
Mhm.
go high touch after going high tech.
Love that.
And we forgot about that.
Yeah.
And the business to business growth for every industry is like, Jackie, this is the reason why you're back on the show, because we had a connection in a conversation. We both got value out of it. We had a lot of laughs in the green room, pre and post show and on the show. But everyone says, well, I have to put more YouTube ads or Facebook ads, or I need to do this or do that. But why don't you go say hi to somebody?
Right. Right.
And ask for the business, right? I mean, I feel like that's the big mistake. At least
You
the
don't
big
even
thing I'm working on. Yeah.
you don't even have to ask. You can just earn it. You can
Earn
just,
it.
as long as you serve them, as long as you show up, as long as you build that relationship and that connection, you won't have to ask for it. They'll give it to you.
Yeah.
They will. They actually will. They'll call you. Like, I have two of my friends. They're like, well, I was a bouncer at a bar. I was on a head bouncers at a really gnarly bar for about 6 years. And the fights we would get into that in that bar were gnarly. But two of the servers that I remain friends with, they have sent me each 4 to 5 referrals based upon our friendship that's 20 years old. How many 20-year-old friendships do you have that you haven't cultivated or asked for the business or earned the business, like Jackie said?
Right.
When's the last time you did that? Think about it.
Right.
Probably never. Last week, last month, last year.
No way.
Nah,
No.
it's too simple. Why would you do something so simple?
No, people think they can use technology to replace the human element, and that's never going to happen. We have to build connections. We are community. If COVID taught us nothing else, we need each other.
Mhm.
We
Oh,
need
you
to
so
spend
do.
time together. We need to be in the same room with each other. So, what are you doing to be involved in community organizations? What are you doing to serve the community? How are you giving back to the community? The community in which you live, so geographically, and the
Mhm.
community in which you want to market.
Mhm.
Divorced moms.
And that's such a micro niche. I love the fact that you bring that up. Oh, what's that show? Modern Family,
Sure.
right? So the real estate agent in Modern Family, right?
Bill?
Guess what his niche was? Divorced moms.
Yep.
And he killed it.
Yep. Yep. Of course, they all wanted to marry him, but that was a different story for a different
Yeah.
day.
Well,
But
he's a
it
goofball.
might not be divorce. It might be there's other people I know that are like, well, I don't know. Like, I've never been through bankruptcy. I've never been through divorce. Like,
Yeah.
you have to search yourself a little bit. Do a
But do you
little
own a
soul.
dog? Do you understand everything about making sure that
Dog.
this is the right house for a dog? I mean,
Mhm.
how huge is the pet culture these days? Here are
It's
all the local
huge.
dog parks. Here's the best vets. Here is the best places to go to meet up with other dog people, to go for dog walks. What is it about you? Where is your individual specialty? And then how do you connect with other people just like you?
Okay. I have the answer for that one.
Okay.
It's something that I've talked about a lot. So when Jack and I got our dog, my girlfriend and I got our dog.
Not you and I. You and I don't share a dog.
Oh, sorry, we're divorced. Remember?
Right.
So here's the thing. So when we were applying for the dog, we had to put essays in, photos of the backyard. I mean, like it's like adopting a freaking child that shits in the bushes. Okay.
Yep.
Well, kids do too. But anyways, different story, different day. The thing is that my thing for dogs is that I'm going to start when it stops raining so hard outside. I'm going to all the different dog parks. I've already put it together. I'm going to buy dog bowls and buckets, like half buckets. I'm going to put my branding all around it. And they're going to go make a partnership with a dog grooming company. They're going to come down to the dog parks and say, hey guys, on Saturday at 10 a.m., I'm going to have a dog groomer here free of charge. I'm going to clip nails, do a quick groom. There's going to be a dog trainer on site to teach you a couple of tricks, so on and so forth. And then you put that sign in the brochures everywhere and you hand them out to everybody, and your branding's on these buckets and these bowls. You become the alpha in that arena because you're connecting on a basis that you both connect with. Like, I drive a Jeep SRT8, one of the fastest Jeeps besides the Trackhawk, which that son of a bitch beats me, but that's a different story. So like, if you love dogs and you love Jeeps, we should hang out.
Cars
And
are a good one, Greg, because honestly, there's a lot of I used to have a GT 5.0 Mustang convertible, and I
Oh
was in
yeah.
the Mustang group. And I mean, you can find a lot of business people like to work with people that they have things in common, that they trust them.
Dude,
So yeah, your car is
my
a good one.
girlfriend has a Mustang, and she doesn't want to hear anything else except for Mustang.
Right.
She's in your crew. So,
Yeah.
Jackie, I know that there's a lot of stuff that Alyssa and I are talking over here, but when it comes to really branding and building this stuff up, how micro do you need to get or should get, or do you want to get to really build a business? Or is that in most people's minds, it's just a waste of time because they're like, oh my gosh, I have to go big before I go small. Or would you go small before you go big?
You go small, then you go big. So you pick one small little bitty niche, dog, and that goes really well. And that probably is going to
Mm,
fill your bucket completely. But if
Mhm.
it doesn't, then you can add cat or lizard or fish, but you still stay in the pet family.
I
mm,
like that.
stay
And
in the
so
niche.
because you want to have resources. Well, you don't have to go create 15 different things. You want to have a reputation. Well, how are people going to describe you? And so you want to stay in that same family. So another way you could go, let's say you are literally the only person in the world who has no past, no history, no hobbies, no whatevers. Okay, what are you interested in? Maybe it's smart houses. And so for you, it's all about how do I convert this house into a smart house? So I understand about the locks and the cameras and the voice activated commands and the lights, and I can control everything with, with commands, and I can help you figure out how to do that for your house. And I have all the resources for you.
Great idea.
I see.
It could also be accessory units or something
Yes.
that you're an expert in that area.
Yes, yes. So many people just lock into first-time home buyers because they know more than that audience, and so that's safe. So I'm just gonna do
Yeah.
first-time home buyers because I know more than they do.
Yeah.
And if I did anything else, I don't know how that looks, and I don't know what that sounds like, and maybe that, I'm a new agent, so I don't know as much as they do. I'm scared.
Okay, so you bring up such an amazing point, Jackie. I've trained thousands of agents, tens of thousands of agents, well, hundreds of thousands of agents at this point. You know what the one thing is, and I really think the Alyssa and Jackie, you guys can weigh in on this. Everybody has a past, right? Everybody has a past life, past experiences, so on and so forth. So I had a conversation with multiple people, but the last guy I had a conversation with, he was a new agent, just like you said, Jackie. And he's like, I want to make videos. I'm like, great. What are you going to make them about? He's like, I want to make about new homes. I'm like, that is boring as all heck. No, stop that. Like, I'm already bored just here on this conversation. No. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what did you do in your past? He's like, well, I was a police officer for 35 years and my specialty was a canine training. And I'm like, you've got to be shitting me right now.
Yeah. Got it.
And I'm like, here's your fucking plan, bro. You're gonna go down, you're gonna mark yourself as the canine realtor. You're gonna offer all of your appointments, free canine training, and you're also gonna offer, security breach, reports. So walk into a house and say, these are your soft spots. This is where someone can access your property, hurt your family. Here are 3 commands for your dog. Here's my business card. Who's not going to remember that guy?
Yeah.
Right?
I wish his name was Kenny because Canine Kenny has such a great ring to it.
It does.
Yes.
He could change
Or
his
Kevin,
name.
he could be Kevin.
Yeah.
I just need him to change his name.
Kelly. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And so that works the same way for companies. So how
Yeah.
is your company special? If you're going to recruit agents, what are you doing special and different? Real has caught my attention because they're the first company to really be different than all the other real estate agencies out there.
I love Real. Yeah.
Look at Mr. Fish. Look at this comment. Right? I'm writing an offer right now for a home from a friend that I found in a local fish tank group.
Fish
That
tank group. I
is
love it.
what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
dude. Fucking knuckles to you. That is sick. I love that.
You know what? I got a referral from somebody who I haven't worked with yet, but he lives in another state. But he found me on TikTok and stuff. But our big thing is that we both love thrifting. Like, we get such a kick out of it. He sends me stuff on Saturdays where he's like, look what I just got for 50 cents. And I'm like, dude, that's a collectible, like, we freak out over that stuff. So dive in and dig in and do some personality, quizzes and things like that. Ask your friends and family, like, what do you think stands out about me? What do you think are some areas that I know a lot about? Because I might not even realize that people see me as an expert in fashion. Just
Well,
kidding.
you're a
They don't.
fashionista. You're
Yeah.
a fashionista, young lady.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you never, so it's good to get another opinion without sounding too vain.
Tell me what you like about me.
Tell me what you like about me. Yeah. Enough about me. What do you like about me? Okay.
So it can also be like a fashionista for the ladies,
Sure.
jewelry,
Yeah.
bags,
Sure.
shoes,
Sure.
for the ladies.
Okay.
Guys,
So you're the
definitely.
closet expert. So you
Yeah.
know how to turn a closet into the closet of her dreams.
Mm.
And so you have the hookup for all the closet accessories, for the closet design. You don't need that third bedroom. We're going to make it the greatest master walk-in closet of all time,
Yes, I like her.
right?
I
And so
like
for
this.
the guys, maybe it's workshop. Maybe you
No.
know how to take that garage and turn it into a workshop.
So no, it's beer tours.
Okay, there you go.
That's actually a thing here in San Francisco. I didn't know that was a thing here in the Bay Area, but there are beer tours. And so you'll get in this van and they'll take you to different breweries. It's kind of like wine touring, but beer
Right.
touring,
Love
right?
it.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
so why don't what I just remember this, and Jackie and Alyssa, thank you for reminding me about this. I owe it to you two ladies. But I mean, think about this. I love beer. I just like beer. I like all kinds of beer, right? I'm not a fucking flaking, I'm not, a beer like a holic. Like I'm not drinking every day beer, but I like the flavors. So
Right.
why don't I get together a group of guys and gals and once a month put 6 or 8 people exclusively into a van and go create an experience?
You honestly, you guys could you guys could do something with craft beer, like take on the whole
That's-
thing of creating on Saturday night. Like we're gonna make a few craft beers at my house or whatever the case,
It could be a
All kinds
whole
of fun.
thing. I think, Jackie, that's what you're talking about when it comes to B2B and B2C. It's I might be wrong, but it's creating a bond and a relationship on a deeper level than just surface. It's not just the, oh, hi, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, good to see you. Okay, so we should do lunch. Yeah, okay, yeah, let's do lunch. You're never going to talk to them again.
Mhm.
But if you say, hey, bro, I heard your mom died, bro.
Mhm.
Let's go get a beer.
Mhm.
That's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get down. You got to ask questions. You got to listen. You got to listen deeper than what they're saying. And you can
Mhm.
start picking out, oh, she's mentioned like on a few different times that she loves when she some dessert she had at a dinner place the other night. It sounds to me like she's kind of got that sweet tooth. She'd
Mhm.
probably really have fun if we went and did like a dessert class. You know what I mean? Like you got to find those things that make people's eyes kind of light up right in that moment when you're about to lose them because they're tired, and they don't want to hear you anymore. And you say cake, and they say, "What are we talking about? Let's get some cake."
Well, you're speaking to their interests, not your interests.
Right.
So, Jackie, how do you speak to somebody's interest versus speaking about you? Because our favorite conversation topic is us, right? So, how do we make the favorite conversation them? And that goes back to Story Brand.
It's
The
100%
book.
story brand, 100%. So you've got to focus on knowing that audience. So I have not been through divorce, but earlier I was rattling off a bunch of things that I would think would be challenges for divorced moms. And so by sharing those pain points, you all got it. You're like, yeah, she gets divorced moms. So absolutely, she's the one who can help me.
Mhm.
Oh my God, you just blew my mind. You just blew my mind. Go to ChatGPT, ask a bunch of different questions, then ask for those, differences, like break them down. Like Alyssa and Jackie, you're asking specific questions about a specific topic.
Yep.
Why don't you get specific about topics and figure out where you lie? Like what resonates with you? For me, divorced moms, I don't think my girlfriend would be too pumped about that.
Nope,
Honestly.
not at all.
Not one tiny itsy bitsy teensy weensy bit.
Nope.
But maybe dudes that like to drink beer should be
Yeah.
like, all right, later I get the
She
house
would
to
be down
myself.
for that.
See you
Yeah.
later.
Right. Right. So if you
Yeah,
can have
right.
that prompt, listen, I'm a real estate agent. I really want to work with divorced moms. So what kind of challenges do they face? How should I best
Yeah.
market to them? What do they need from me? What resource should I create? What are the 7 things they need to know in evaluating their next steps? Boom. Now you've got an ebook, you've got a checklist, you've got material that you can share. Now, do I think it's perfect first draft? No. I think you're going to get a draft. You're going to need to go in and make it sound like you. You're going to modify it. You're going to rewrite it. But it's so much easier to edit a document than to start from scratch.
Yes.
That was awesome. I am putting this in the show notes at minute 43. You have to go back and get this prompt because that was legendary right there.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh.
Yep. That's how it
And
works.
by the way, speaking of legendary, how do people get involved with you?
You go to brandstateu.com. I mean, that's the best place to connect. I've got free resources there that people can download, some paid classes they can take, membership, which gives you access to me. You go through, you do the work, we talk about it, review the notes, make sure it's going the way you want it to. I give you some feedback and suggestions, some tweaks, and then you go off and be real successful.
That see, that's what I love about you, Jackie. You're such a giver, and you're not. It's not a selfish give. It's a genuine give
Thanks.
because you're allowing people the freedom and the autonomy to be themselves. But you're not. Remember, go back to brand story. You're not the hero. You're the guide.
Correct. Well, my philosophy is we're better together. And so,
Ooh, tell me
rising
more.
tide lifts all ships, right? And
Mhm.
so the theory is you want a DIY solution, but you don't want to be off on your own. So this is do it
No.
yourself, but not on your own. You've got assistance, you've got somebody who can support you and help you and guide you through, but you're not going to pay for a whole agency. They're expensive. I run one. I know they're very expensive.
And people are smarter than they give themselves credit for. I mean, not all people, but I will
Sure.
tell you that even in my credit, do it yourself kind of don't need credit repair mentality. A little plug there. I see that a lot of people do actually know exactly what they need to do. They just need a little guidance. They need a little, like you said, strategy is the money
Yeah.
right there. If right from the beginning we can figure out exactly where you are, truthfully, like where you are, if it's credit from a credit score point of view, real credit score point of view, then we know where we want to go, right? And we can build that strategy and then take off. But that's the most important thing I think I've heard you say today is that it has to start with strategy.
Right. Has to.
And that's where
Everything.
your money's going to be with you.
Now,
Yeah.
look, I'm a strategist.
Mhm.
So, I'm kind of inclined to believe that, but I'm a strategist because I see how people become so tactical. I'm going to
Mhm.
do social media. I'm going to go build a website. I'm going to go make calls. Well, where's the strategy? There's no way
Yeah.
that's going to be
What's the what?
successful for you. You're going to
Mhm.
fail at it because you're not approaching the right people with the right message.
That's the truth.
It's also inconsistency because without a strategy, there's no consistency.
Mhm.
I know. I mean, I've almost done a million cold calls myself. I'm just shy of a million cold calls myself in 25 years. I'll tell you one thing: the only strategy I had, I was broke as a joke. I had
It's
no
always
other
a good
option,
motivator.
and
Yeah.
you know what? I stuck to that freaking strategy because
Mhm.
I didn't have an option. I just stuck to my strategy. Make as many calls, have as many contacts, get in front of as many people as humanly possible. But that was a very simplistic strategy. We now have more advanced strategies that can be much more comprehensive.
Mhm.
So, guys and gals, I want you to, I want to implore you to do one thing. Do not follow my footsteps. I am promising you that one. But I want you to get involved with Jackie. I want you to get in front of her organization, and I want you to really dig deep on what you want to do. And I make no money from her. There's no associate fees or, affiliate, contracts.
Nope.
This is purely me telling you, go talk to her organization, get involved with someone who does this for a living, pay a couple of dollars, learn a lifetime of knowledge,
Mhm.
and you will be successful. Alyssa is the same way. I mean, the woman is an absolute, complete, total master of mortgage and credit and building credit. I've learned more from her than I've learned in 25 years from other lenders because they never taught me anything. They just wanted my business.
Oh,
Get
thank you,
involved
bud.
with someone who's going to give back to you in your world. And with that, you guys will be able to give forward to your folks when they look to you. It's a give and give back. Um, Jackie, so we are going to wrap it up here because I know that you have so much stuff to do. I see you keep looking around. I know you got another appointment to go to. So brand state U, the letter U, not YOU, the letter
Correct.
U.com. Go there, get involved. There's multiple different tiers. You're absolutely freaking love her and her personality and her team. I've been involved with them for a while. They have knocked my socks off. So go check them out. Jackie, anything else? Any events? Anywhere you're speaking? Is there anything
Yeah,
that's
I've
coming
got a
up?
conference coming up that I'm actually speaking at April 11th and 12th called Growth X. It's going to be in person in Lafayette, Louisiana. So you get some good
Mm,
Cajun food and a chance to
Nice.
learn from 5 smart people. I'm just one of them. So 4 smart people in me. But it's
Nice.
everything about building your business. And here's the thing. It's not real estate. It's branding. It's about developing yourself as a professional. It's about developing yourself as a leader, and it's about developing yourself as a marketer. So to me,
Okay.
it's a well-rounded environment, which I think is important. And then in September, I'm doing the Women's Summit at Sea out of Galveston, Texas, on a Royal Caribbean ship. It
Ooh.
is
Nice.
5 days of immersive learning, half the day, and half the day it's relaxing. And
Oh,
so
that's
you're
awesome. That's a
really
good gig.
able education, vacation. And so both of those things you can find on the Brand State U website under events.
Okay, guys, go to events on Brand State U. Check those events out. Alyssa, how can people get involved with you a little bit more on Color My Credit? What kind of what social media sites are you on?
So pretty much all of them, you can find me either under Alyssa Glutz or Color My Credit or both. You can go to my website though, colormycredit.com. It'll have everything there. But TikTok, Monday and Friday, 11 to noon. You can come in Arizona time and I answer questions for free. In fact, I just celebrated my 700th live, which was pretty cool. Yeah. So, and that's a great way to just get some free help with like, what do I do? I got this letter in the mail. It's a collection. I want to buy a house. What do I do? You know, that's a great place to come.
I love it. I love it. Guys, these are two of my favorite ladies. Go check out Jackie. Go check out Alyssa. Go follow this podcast. And thank you for watching this all the way to the end, by the way. That really helps YouTube quite a bit. Give me a like and a follow on all my social media channels. Just look for this ugly mug and this giant fucking beard. And I would be happy to help you guys with any scripting, real estate stuff, and so on and so forth, because I love you. We cannot do this show without you. You guys are the lifeblood of this show. We appreciate you more than you know. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Until next time, peace out, ninjas. We gone.